So you're thinking about moving to Tampa, Florida? I would definitely recommend it. In fact, Time Magazine just named Tampa as one of the top 50 places to live in the world. That's huge. Tampa, Florida is a vibrant city right on the Gulf Coast, known for its warm weather, beautiful beaches, and rich culture. But like any other place, there's always their pros and the cons. And that's exactly what we're going to be explaining in this video, so stick around because we're getting after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about living in Tampa, then subscribe below or tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Tampa. I'm Jonathan. Me and my partner James get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking for help on making their move to Tampa, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email so we can help you make a smooth move to Tampa. Now, let's jump right into it and talk about the pros. One of the pros of Tampa gotta be the weather. Tampa has a subtropical climate with warm weather throughout the year. In fact, Tampa has over 300 days of sunshine. That makes Tampa an ideal location from everything from sunbathing on one of our numerous world-renowned beaches like Clearwater, St. Pete, or Treasure Island, which is only like 20-30 minute drive from Tampa, to hiking on one of our awesome trails. And our trails, granted, ain't trails like Florida's real flat, so they're not trails where we're gonna be hiking up and down hills, but we have some awesome scenery and views with like canopy trees and awesome like picture spots. So that is a plus about one of our hiking trails. And also boating. With the sunshine throughout the year, definitely leads to a lot of boating since Tampa is all around water. And it is the fishing capital of the world. Florida is. Tampa, not the country, the world. So Tampa has great fishing spots, and one of our main fish we catch out here is gotta be the snook or the redfish or carpet. So if you're a fisherman or just love to fish, Tampa's the spot to go. So let's jump into pro number 2, which gotta be the beaches. And like I mentioned before, Tampa has some of the world-renowned beaches like Clearwater Beach, St. Pete Beach, Treasure Island, even Siesta Key. Granted, Siesta Key is about an hour south in Sarasota, but hey, take a hop, skip, and a jump, and you're right there with powdery white sand, crystal clear water, and tons of activities, which is also in Clearwater Beach in the St. Pete area, only about 20 or 30 minutes away from Tampa. You could get as well. But hey, variety is the spice of life. You could go to multiple different beaches, spend one day here, one day there, and they got all types of water activities while you're there. Everything from parasailing to renting kayaks to even renting boats and sailing as well. You can rent a catamaran. You got all kind of tours and activities you could do. You could just take the family to the beach and relax, enjoy the sun, build some sandcastles. Speaking of sandcastles, we have sandcastle competitions here as well. I've been to the beach before and I just seen these massive sandcastles where everything, the attention to detail was insane. I'm like, what's going on here? And it was literally a sandcastle competition just got done, and they just had these massive sandcastles, just one right after the other, with all kind of details. So I mean, that's just a normal day in the life of Tampa and the sunny beaches. So that leads us to the pro number 2, which is the beaches. You gotta love it. The next pro of Tampa gotta be the culture. Tampa has a rich cultural heritage with a vibrant art scene, museums, and historical landmarks. The city is home to the Tampa Museum of Art, the Tampa Theater, and the Henry B. Plant Museum, which is located inside the University of Tampa. They also have numerous museums throughout the outer parts of the city as well. So if culture is your thing, Tampa is the way to go. So let's go ahead and end the pros with the pro teams, that is. If you're a sports fanatic like me, then you'll definitely enjoy Tampa. Tampa is home to 4 major sports teams, which include like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for football, the Tampa Bay Lightning for hockey, the Tampa Bay Rays for baseball, even the Tampa Bay Rowdies for soccer. And our nickname's Tampa Bay because we're always winning. I mean, we recently won the Super Bowl. We recently won the Stanley Cup. The Lightning are always making the playoffs for the Stanley Cup as well. The Tampa Bay Rays are absolutely killing it right now. And that also brings us to the stadiums. I mean, we have all these stadiums, so that brings in a lot of events. I mean, we have like the Buccaneers Stadium, the Raymond James Stadium. They're always having some type of festival there, or having like some type of huge performer perform. Like Taylor Swift was just there, sold out the whole stadium 3 days back to back. or like the Amalie Arena, they always have some type of comedian or something on ice, or like some type of a concert or venue event. So not only like having sports teams is great, they also bring in a lot of different events, a lot of different activities, which brings the family together. This brings something to do. That's why having all these sports teams is great, both ends. You know, if you don't like sports, you can do all the concerts activities. If you love sports, then we have 4 of them. I mean, what better place to be than Tampa Bay? All right, now that we discussed all the pros of Tampa, you can't have the good without the bad. And there are some cons of Tampa, and one of them being the humidity. You know, warm weather is a plus of Tampa, but humidity in Tampa, that could be quite oppressive. You know, summers could especially be uncomfortable. You know, we have a lot of thunderstorms, and the humidity levels can get pretty high. And you mix that warm weather with the thunderstorms, it being wet and hot, humidity, you're gonna sweat. I mean, I go outside a lot of times in the summer and it's like, bam, instant sweat. I mean, you're like, yeah, I can't wait to get in the car and just blast the AC. So yeah, the humidity does take a toll. If you don't like the sweat and you come to Tampa and you're expecting not to, then you need to change your mindset on things, or yeah, you're gonna be in for a little treat, because yeah, it's really humid here, especially in the summers of Tampa Bay. All right, next con has to be the traffic. Oh boy, the traffic is pretty bad in Tampa. I mean, Tampa is a growing city. I mean, I've been here for 33 years, so I've seen the traffic get worse over times. And especially now, I mean, we're bringing people in by the thousands, and everybody wants to move to Tampa all of a sudden. I mean, why wouldn't they? Tampa's great, but that also leads to a lot of traffic, especially during rush hour. You see a lot of frequent delays on like I-75 or 275 or anywhere you're going. If you need to make it like a commute, if you're living in a suburb of Tampa, just outside, and you're trying to, you know, go across to Tampa to get home or do whatever, during those rush hour times, a normal 20-30 minute commute could double, even triple it. I mean, you would expect to be at a standstill even on the interstate at sometimes in Tampa traffic during its worst hours. So I definitely try to avoid Tampa during the rush hour times. Or you can take the crosstown. The crosstown is a paid toll you're going to pay if you want to skip out on worse traffic. I mean, who likes being in traffic at a standstill on the interstate? I don't know about you, but I definitely don't. So Tampa's traffic can be pretty bad. I visited New York, I visited LA. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's getting there. Traffic definitely has to be a major con of Tampa, especially in recent years. All right, let's jump into the next con of Tampa, which unfortunately has to be the cost of living. I mean, the cost of living in Tampa is relatively high, especially when it comes to the housing. I mean, not as high as Miami or like New York or LA, which has astronomical cost of living. Yeah, cost of the housing now has jumped up quite a bit over recent years. I mean, like something 6-7 years ago, it was $200,000 or $300,000 for a house in Tampa. Now you might pay $400,000 to $600,000 now. So I mean, yes, I mean the cost of living has jumped up over recent years, but has it everything in America as well? I mean, there are some relatively affordable neighborhoods in Tampa, especially if you live like on the suburbs, and that's where you'll find a lot of these. You know, I mean, you could get a quick commute in a lot of these suburbs in 20 minutes and be in the mix of everything. And these houses in the suburbs out there, are still quite affordable. But if you want to be like in the mix of everything, like say in like Hyde Park or South Tampa, then yeah, you'll spend probably like $1 million. You're not going to be in a huge mansion, you know, but you will be in the mix of everything. So yeah, you can break the bank and live in the mix of everything, or you can find something in the outskirts, you know, like the suburbs of Tampa, you know, like 20 minutes away, and you'll spend $1 million, you'll get a huge house out there. Or you can, you can still score $500,000 and still get a really decent house outside in these suburbs of Tampa with land and a lot of things to do as well. And they're only a hop, skip, and a jump away from Tampa, you know, like 20 minutes, and you're right in the mix of everything, right in the heart of downtown. So, I mean, there are some options to go there as well. But the cost of living in Tampa has, over the recent years, has been jumping up. And unfortunately, that is another con of living in Tampa Bay. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up the cons of living in Tampa with the hurricanes. And yes, we do get hit with hurricanes and tropical storms. And it's windy and rainy, and you'll see flooding in certain parts of Tampa. But I've been in Tampa 33 years, and those who've been in Tampa or from Tampa, I mean, we don't really take hurricanes that seriously as a lot of people moving in. I mean, yes, we do get hit with them. It gets pretty bad and windy, but it's not as scary as you may think. I mean, a lot of the newer people who come to Tampa, when all of a sudden the news puts out there's a hurricane, they're going to run over to Costco and they're going to buy 1,000 jugs of water and as much toilet paper as they need. But a lot of the locals don't really take hurricanes that seriously. We do, but we don't, because we get hit with them so frequently that it's really not that big of a deal. It's like if you're living in LA and the earthquakes, you get hit with earthquakes all the time, so I'm pretty sure they don't see that as too big of a deal, just like us true people from Tampa don't really think that these hurricanes that much of a problem. So yes, we do get hit with hurricanes, but at the same time, you get used to them. Just like anywhere else with any other natural disaster, things will happen. So yes, con of Tampa will have to be the hurricanes. So overall, Tampa offers a high quality of life with great climate, beautiful beaches, and plenty of cultural and recreational activities. However, it is important to weigh out the pros and the cons before you want to call Tampa your home or not. But to me, the pros definitely outweigh the cons, and I would choose Tampa all day. I hope this video gave you an overview of the pros and the cons of living in Tampa, and the main thing is to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We're happy to help you make that smooth move to Tampa, and until next time, I'll see you guys around town.